chip is on the left and crumble is on the right. Here is the chip. And crumble. Try a bite. I would put that slightly better than a store-bought chocolate chip cookie. Taste-wise, the texture is a lot better, of course, if you like them to be gooey. And then here is the... Kind of hard to describe the differences since they both taste like chocolate chip. This one you can taste the flour more, but it tastes good. Also tastes a little bit more sweeter and maybe doughy. Slightly doughier. Hard to explain. This one tastes like, I don't know, like good for what you would get at a store. Maybe texture isn't quite as good, and for some reason I like how, hard to describe, but I like how the flour tastes on this versus this. Both of them are milk chocolate. Honestly, they're close enough. I would say I do prefer the chip one a little bit over crumble, but if either of these moved to using semi-sweet, I think that cookie would win. So not a huge difference. I think I slightly prefer the chip cookie. The crumble one's fine too. Yeah, this for some reason just tastes less store-bought to me. Mostly finishing them and having my roommate test them. He prefers the crumble cookie more than the chip because the crumble cookie is just a little bit firmer. So if you want a firmer cookie texture, a little less gooey, then go for the crumble over the chip. And he also thought that the chocolate chips were a little bit sweeter, and so his preference was crumble. So kind of a toss-up between the two. I think the texture is probably the biggest difference. I also think the smell of the chip cookie is a little bit stronger. Frosted sugar cookies. I'm not sure what kind of frosting this one is yet. This one is cream cheese frosting. So this is the chip cookie. This is the crumble cookie. You can see them right here. There's a little pumpkin candy. We're not going to bother with that though. So let's try the crumble cookie first. That has a very slightly lemony taste. It reminds me of like your Christmas sugar cookies from a box texture-wise. I honestly can't say it's any better taste or texture-wise. It literally tastes like when you make sugar cookies for Christmas and they have that kind of flaky crumb to them. And the frosting is your normal frosting, just tastes like powdered sugar. Is the chip cookie. This has a way smoother inside to it. You can kind of see how it's finer, whereas this one is more coarse. This one is not what I would describe as flaky. This one is, I honestly prefer the texture of this because again, it's more like dough. This is slightly like bread. And honestly, this cream cheese frosting wins by far over just your typical, you can even see the little clumps of powdered sugar. So powdered sugar, typical cookie. If you want a pre-made sugar cookie, that's fine. This is excellent taste and texture wise. One of the best I've had. Crumble versus chip comparison. Here's all the cookies. We don't have a comparable Biscoff one, but that cookie and that cookie presentation wise are not as good as chip and chip.